Good evening, mother flippers. Welcome back to the Too Much Time on Our Hands podcast. We're back in the grim darkness of the squishy marshmallows again tonight because Tom's not here, and that means we can get away with talking about 40k without him looking all sad and left out
That's
at us.
genuinely how we work it out. We do 40k when Tom can't make it.
Yeah.
We had a plan for something else tonight.
Screw that.
And yeah, let's talk miniatures.
I think it's time that we admitted that this podcast is about whatever we happen to be into at the moment. So right now, yeah, it's 40k stuff. Deal with it.
I'll warn you, Russ, I've been looking at guitars today.
Yeah, see, this is when you and Tom can do one, and I'll sit there looking all sad and left out because I can't play a guitar.
Well, I can teach you. It's fine. No, it's fine.
I think maybe you're 30 years too late.
Ah, fuck no.
35 years too late.
Like, guitar is like a prime midlife crisis, instrument.
Oh, but I've got so many of those lined up.
Oh, really?
Midlife crisis stuff. Oh, yeah. You know, going parachuting.
Are you actually going to do it?
I don't know. I mean, I'd like to. I've never done it. It'd be pretty cool.
Nice.
You know, obviously just more 40k stuff, which is a perfectly acceptable middle-age thing now. Didn't used to be, but is now because of our
Well,
generation.
it's because we grew up with it. Like, second edition, I stand by the idea that second edition was like the definitive 40k.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah.
And everyone kind of grew up with second edition. And then some people carried on.
Everyone our age did, yeah.
Yeah.
There are plenty of people who now don't have a clue what you're talking about. But they don't matter because they're Gen Z. So, fuck them.
They got their shit sorted. They know what they're doing. They're fine. They haven't inherited.
I think
the
they
planet that's
disagree.
absolutely fucked. Yeah.
But
Yeah, we haven't really screwed them over. That's the important
well,
thing.
it gives us a chance.
Mm.
Well, it's not, it would be, if you go by these strictly defined hierarchies, it'd be Gen X who can screw things over. We get to screw over the next lot, whatever comes after Gen Z. Which, you know, it's like the Xbox One. We've run out of things to call them. So
Genfinite.
Gen Zero.
Gen fucked.
Maybe. Yeah,
Poor
that's who we
fuckers.
get to. That's who we get to screw up. But we've got all that to look forward to. If there's anything left.
Hey, Russ, I'll tell you who was really fucked. The people of the 41st millennium. That's who.
Oh, boom. Think we've got problems with our Prime Minister trying to wreck the country and the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be worse. You could be living in...
Let me introduce you to
millennium.
Goj Van Dyer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, yeah. Or if you listen to Adeptus Ridiculous, Doge Van Dyer. But it's, yeah.
It's Goj Van Dyer, isn't it?
Yeah.
I genuinely can't remember his actual name anymore.
No, as far as I'm concerned, it's Doge Van Dyer. So, yeah. It's, yeah. So we're going with miniatures we'd like to see, right? This was your baby, Russ. So
Yeah, so we are basically just weighing on about 40k again. But and I think one of the things that's really struck me since getting sort of, you know, I've never it's not like getting back into it. I've always been vaguely there, but, you know, for the last sort of 15 years, I've not really been paying much attention. But getting back in some of the fiction and stuff, there's some really cool stuff in there that just doesn't exist on the tabletop. Or if it does, it's not sort of quite in the same way as it is in the lore. And there's a lot of that in 40k because you can't, if you did things on the tabletop as they are in the lore, it would be a terrible game.
Well, you'd have 3 Space Marines in every game.
Yeah.
Because Space Marines are meant to be like insanely powerful.
Yeah. Like 3 or 4 of them can take over a planet quite easily. Or you just be like, well, it's finished because, you know, you've just been shot from orbit and it turns out that actually half the continent you're on is now melted. So
yeah,
quick game, but fun.
Yeah.
So it'll be rubbish. So, you know, all the tabletop stuff is balanced to make it vaguely playable. But there's still quite a bunch of stuff that just doesn't exist that I'd quite like to see. Although I've got to be honest, the one thing I was thinking about this turns out there is a mini for it. It's a forge one that I wasn't aware of.
So there is a ton of minis that came out with the Horus Heresy stuff.
Yeah.
So like basically every time they released a new Horus Heresy book, if a character was popular enough, then they'd release a mini for them as well in Forge
Which
World.
is exactly what happened with this one. So the one I was thinking about was Argul Tall from Betrayer and First Heretic, I think.
Yeah.
who's the word bearer, who is the first guy to sort of host a demon, and he goes all demonic when he gets annoyed. He hulks out, but into a demon. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But he manages to sort of coexist with the demon. They have like a symbiotic relationship, don't they? Basically, he's a normal space marine, and then when he gets annoyed enough, he goes all hench. His armor starts cracking open, and like smoke and fire starts pouring out of it, and he grows massive bat wings. It's pretty cool. But there is actually a mini of him. It's a Forge World resin one, but it's pretty sweet.
I kind of took a different angle at this. I'm looking at like armies I'd like to see, or models that desperately need like a new mod updating. Yeah,
like all the Tyranids until Leviathan came out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not being funny, but the Tyranids now are really fucking sweet. They're awesome.
Exceptional now, yeah.
Like it's yeah. I for one welcome our new Hive Mind overlords.
I think the Tyranids were really like, until the modern like digital sculpting and 3D printing way that they make the minis now, they just weren't really doable before. It just wasn't really possible.
Well, you can get tiny Tyranids now, like really tiny, like gaunts, and they kind of look pretty cool. So I'm kind of on board with that. The other thing is that I firmly believe that all the ones I can think of that I kind of love from like the books already have a mini, and they're already fairly straightforward people. Like, I mean, fucking Araman's obviously got a mini. He's one of my favorite characters in the books as well. And obviously, like Garvel Loken has a mini. Well, he hasn't. It's more like a diorama for him, isn't it? Because it's him fighting a Baden.
Yeah, although I think those, is that one of those Forge World dioramas? You can take them out and use them, but then they've got kind of a little thing that they slot into. It's quite a nice idea, actually.
Yeah, and then obviously Nathaniel Garrow's got a mini as well. Like Nathaniel Garrow as a character.
Yeah,
I think even Torgadon's got a mini as well. Like him.
Well, I think you can get the whole Mournival, can't you?
Yeah,
all four of them. Although I mean, they're all just Space Marines. There's another. Yeah, this one is Horus Axeman. There you go.
Yeah,
they all look the same.
Horus. Yeah.
Not that much to do with it, really.
Yeah. So all of them for starters. There's who's the. Have you read Mechanicum?
No.
So there's like the lady who's mostly robotic now. She's
mainly
head.
Robot now.
Yeah, I mean that's most of the Mechanicum, isn't it?
Yeah.
But she's like one of the top like forge, like heads of one of the forges that gets kind of taken down by an assassin. So, but she's really, really cool. Like I've seen pictures of her. She looks awesome. I can't remember her name. That's going to bug me.
But I say with some more AdMech stuff in general.
Special characters in general. So I didn't realize this because obviously I'm a filthy Imperium player most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So like Imperium, fucking loads of special characters. Like just fill your boots, mate. Like Sisters have what, like 6? Space Marines have like 20 because there's like all the different chapter heads basically. And then like Imperial Guard still have like Ursula Creed and Lord Solar, Zap Brannigan, and they've got
there's quite a few named characters, aren't
Sly Marbo, Nork Dead Dog, all of Gaunt's ghosts as well. Like they got loads. And then you look at like some of the other armies, and it's like they don't have any.
Yeah, there's more Space Marine captain models than there are.
Yeah, like
Eldar characters,
which is bonkers. Eldar characters. I think there's still quite. There's like Jane Czar and.
Actually, the Eldar's probably a bad example because there's all the. They've got all the Exarchs, haven't they?
Yeah,
who are like.
But there's no Gene Stealer. Like you'd have thought, like Gene Stealer cults, you could have someone that, like just that. This like amazing rebel like leader, like half Gene Stealer, like that would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, because it's not like the Gene Stealer cults. They do like have names. They are sort of people. We're just normal
princess. Men. Yeah, they are just. Well, Gene Stealer cults are tragic because 50% of them have been brainwashed because the Tyranids need to make it easy for them to enter the planet, and 50% of them are like, actually, this is better. And I understand where this is going to end, but it won't be my generation that ends up in a giant soup that the Tyranids will slurp down.
Well, they don't know that that's going to happen, do they? But yeah, they.
Some of them do, and some of them are still like, this is still better than
whatever.
Being,
yeah, that'll do.
This is actually, I'll take this. This is
Eaten
fine.
by a... Yeah, I'll take that, please. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually fine. So like you could do some Genestealer cult like characters. It desperately needs them. Like just like a really cool like.
Yes, because they're meant to be like these really characters. Because it goes on for like hundreds of years, doesn't it?
Yeah.
From the initial sort of person being infected to when the Tyranids come in and they have the big uprising. It can be centuries, and they have these really charismatic leaders who are sort of recruiting people underground. And yeah, you're right. It's not all like mental control and whatever else they use. Some of it is literally just going and recruiting people. So yeah, they could definitely do with a few.
Votan's only got one character, but they've got about 4 units at the moment anyway. So
yeah, they're going to be. They've probably got a whole bunch of stuff coming up, haven't they?
You'd hope so, yeah.
Yeah.
Custodes still only have Trajan Valoras, I think, don't they? Oh, and is the Blade Champion one as well? I can't remember, but
Trajan Valoras is the only named one that you can get, isn't he? But
yeah,
I say they're quite boring. The Custodians.
Yeah, Custodes aren't very interesting. You're absolutely right. And then I'm trying to think of the other factions. Which ones haven't we? Admech literally just have Belisarius Cole, and that's it.
Yeah, they could do with a bit more stuff, really, couldn't they?
Yeah, and then Space Marines is fucking tons. Chaos Space Marines, like it depends. Like if you're going generic Chaos Space Marines, it's literally just a bad one, isn't it?
Yeah, they don't have much that aren't, you know, the main chapters or legions that are dedicated to a specific chaos power.
There's one I want to look up. So Chaos Knights, for example, there is plenty of opportunities to do like a named Chaos Knight. There's one that I'm trying to remember what it's called. Famous Chaos Knights. Let's try that. But it's the idea of like, I love the idea that essentially they're going crazy in these cockpits and gradually becoming like Chaos Knights. They've got the Dread households. I'm trying to find it. Chaos Knights.
There's some amazing conversions out there that people are doing.
There is, yeah. I'm trying to... Death of Hope, for example.
Nice.
Yeah, but so there's one that that was fending off like an alien invasion, and everyone else died, but he kept fighting. He kept beating back all these people, and to the point where he was covered in like flesh and gore from his enemies. To the point where he started getting like chaos cultists worship him because he was just like covered in blood. And then he carried on fighting, and then he found that he was being worshipped by the flayed ones, the Necrons, as well.
Oh, those creepy Necron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the disease, yeah. And like he just kept fighting till he just basically joined chaos. And he just couldn't be killed. And like the idea is just like covered in like blood and human remains because he just couldn't be taken down. Like Chaos Knights are really interesting, and you could do some really fun things with those. Just like a really crazy looking Chaos Knight. Not that they're not crazy looking enough. They are suitably crazy looking, but like I'd love to see like a Chaos Knight character or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they are so like the pilot never gets out and kind of fuses with the thing. So they could be like a named character, couldn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love to see one that's like had like the cockpit like blown or half away as well.
Yeah.
And then like you just see this like crazy person like in like a stasis,
or just one that's like been fully taken over by demons. So like,
oh my god, that would be amazing. Yeah,
but it's still running around messing shit up because it's being powered by demons.
So my angle was slightly different, Russ. Like I know I've just mentioned a load of stuff I want to see. My angle was, let's say, like I would like. I'll start with the first one. Can we get some different Imperial Guard armies now, please? Like I love Cadians. Cadians are my favourites. But can we potentially maybe get like Deathcore of Krieg? Like everyone fucking loves the Deathcore of Krieg. Can we just get like a essentially like some Krieg?
So the practical answer, I'm afraid, is no.
Yeah.
Because if they do 10 different regiments, it means that every unit they bring out for the Imperial Guard, they have to do 10 versions of it.
So I remember when I was playing 3rd edition, And there was this rumor they were going to bring up this plastic group called the Longcoats, and the idea was that you have all of the Imperial Guardsmen that have long coats, and then you just include a variety of different heads. So then, like, literally all you're doing is swapping the heads out.
It would be super cool.
For Valhallans, for Steel Legion, for Death Corps.
There's some of the best kind of lore factions of the various different Imperial Guard regiments. And you could go completely nuts with it, because there are literally millions of Guard regiments. So like in the Gaunt's Goats, Gaunt's Goats, that's a different thing. Gaunt's Ghosts.
I'd read that, to be fair.
Books, like, they're always meeting up with other regiments that you've never heard of before, and some, like, they're so cool, a lot of them.
You could even do like the Vostroyan Firstborn as well. They're the ones with the big hats, aren't they? And you could do. So I mean, I think all you really need is bog standard USGIs, which is the Cadians. I think you need vests, which is the Catachans, and I think you need long coats, and then you just swap the heads around from there. I think that's all you need. I think you could get away with that.
Yeah, you could do, but then you wouldn't have any of the unique. You'd have to still sort of have the unique, you know, if you want cavalry or particular weapons or something, you might need to have the, you know, things. It would be really cool if we could just get all the regiments.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say, like, and just make it easy. That you don't have to literally just head swaps. Just make them all head swaps. Make them all the same, except for just like include 3 different heads.
Yeah, and be allowed to mix and match them as well, so you don't have to stick with one.
That's the other side of it. The Imperial Guard is meant to be right. So we need 2 million soldiers. We're going to grab 100,000 Catachans. We're going to grab 1.1 million Cadians, and the rest are going to be Death Corps. They do literally combine these armies. They're not like, it's not meant to be, and now all of these people are from Krieg, or all of these people are from Armageddon, or like, they are meant to be like a combined army.
Yeah, they're probably one of the ones that are least like realistic on the tabletop, because on, you know, even with the Imperial Guard, you have 50 dudes. Yeah, which is like nothing for Imperial Guard. They don't think in numbers that low. So
I got to tell you about. So they mentioned. Have you listened to the latest Adeptus Ridiculous?
No.
They're going through the Tyranid Codex for lore, basically. Nice. And I read this evening, that the last thing they talk about is the Inquisitor, whose job it is to work out how to defeat the Tyranids. And he's just sitting in his office, and it describes him sitting in his office at his desk with a data slate, going through the same information over and over again, with his mastercrafted las pistol on his desk. And so he just keeps going through the information, and he keeps going, right, how many units? So Exterminatus, if we just wiped out a planet with the Tyranids on, what does that do? And then the data slate pipes in with, well, we believe there might be enough Tyranids that if there's more Tyranids than there are planets, we can Exterminatus, is the problem. That they think, shit, okay, that's the first issue. Second issue goes, okay, so what if how many troops are we going to need to fend off the Tyranids if we just throw troops at it? And it replies, you would need to conscript every single human, like, available to do it, basically, to fend them off. And the whole thing just ends with him looking at his las pistol going, well, at least my end will be quick. Like, this is the guy whose job it is to, like, be super positive and try and figure out how to defeat them. And his first thought is, we're fucked. They are coming. They are going to take us down. And I'm just going to kill myself eventually. So when it gets too bad.
If you read all the codexes and stuff, like, the galaxy is going to end in about 7 different ways. Yeah. Pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
It's
It's always on a knife edge. That's what they're saying, that like there's enough of the Imperium to take out like Necrons, but if they do that, then they're going to open the door for Chaos or Tyranids or whatever else is trying to kill them that particular week. Yeah. So like you're constantly fighting so many battles that you can't just focus on one war.
Yeah, it's a bit like the Necrons. You can never find all the Necrons as well. They're everywhere.
Well, the Imperium keep waking the fuckers up as well. Mm-hmm. So, like, they need to stop that. Like, the Tyranids woke up the latest Tomb World when they landed on the planet. So, like, they landed in Leviathan. They landed on the planet, and it was quiet. and then the Necrons awoke to take them down, basically. So they've just awoken another Tomb World, basically.
Yeah, and the Tyranids would look at the Necrons and be like, see ya, can't eat you.
Yeah,
We
they
out.
don't care. Yeah. Necrons are like, shit, we need to get rid of these. They are an actual threat because we also need the biomass as well. So yeah. Anyway, back to models. Yeah, so Deathcore, I think there's enough people that love Deathcore that you could do it. That's my argument for them.
Yeah, and give them some characters and stuff like that. So you'd want a few like named individuals for each guard faction.
And I want the character to look almost identical to the normal other Deathcore models as well, like a different sash or something like that, or like on it would have to be just the base. Like you literally just change the base, but they've still got the gas masks on. They've still got the generic Deathcore look.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite things about them is they all kind of look the same. But yeah.
Nice.
Sorry, carry on. I've been talking a lot. Go for it, Russ.
So sticking with Guard, so we've mentioned Gaunt's Ghosts.
Yeah.
There isn't a decent set of them that you can get. No. There's a quite nice one, the new plastic set, but it's only got like 5 of them.
Yeah.
The old set had more characters in it, but like they were lead, they're tiny, they look a bit rubbish by modern mini standards. But there's loads of the Gaunt's Ghosts that just aren't in that set. So there's no Toner Creed, Soric, the Doctor, Brostin with his flamer, Felix. So there's loads of characters throughout. It's quite difficult to pin down a moment in time depending on who's alive. Like it might be that there's not actually one point in time where there are any more than 5 of them that are actually alive, because they do die a lot.
Yeah,
but they're Imperial Guard, so that works. But yeah, like it would be nice to have at least a full kill team's worth of named Gaunt's Ghosts characters, which would be pretty cool. So I've been stalking eBay to see if I can find stuff to make them, because you could quite easily take Cadians and put like cloaks on them and do a few head swaps and things and make them look pretty cool.
I've got some Cadian. I've got some stuff you can use, Russ. Trust me. I've got loads of guard.
You want Imperial Guard? I've got Imperial Guard.
I got guard coming out my wazoo. So like,
but it's funny. Honestly, it's finding the main box set of them for a reasonable price is not easy, because the Rawn model is really cool, and the Gaunt model is really cool. But yeah, a full Gaunt's Ghosts kill team. Also, you need to put a bit of thought into who you're going to have, because you need obviously you've got Larks as the sniper, but you could have Kurth as a medic. I suppose you could use Milo as the zealot character, the sort of one that buffs people with inspirational, in his case, bagpipe music. Have some model some bagpipes out of green stuff. That could be quite interesting.
That would be cool.
You could use Soric as a kind of psyker-ish character. So yeah, you could definitely do it. So that's like a long-term project. I'm trying to make a decent Gaunt's Ghost kill team. I'm sure I'm far from the first person to think of that. Hello, Duncan. How are you doing?
Hello, Duncan.
Hello. I am a wee bit full of the cold, but we're talking Warhammer, and we haven't done a pod for a while, so I thought I'd sacrifice everything for this.
For the greater good.
For the greater good. I mean, the God Emperor would not ask for anything less. Well, actually, he probably would. But the High Lords of Terror would expect more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The High Lords of Terror are quite happy for you to die for the God Emperor.
Well, and for their own needs.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, just quickly then, on those ones, Russ, I'd like to see them redo Schaefer's Last Chances, or just a Penal Legion unit again as a kill team.
Yeah,
you had the Last Chances, and they were awesome unit.
Fucking great. They're dirty. They're basically the dirty dozen.
Look at the Krieg Guard vets. If you want to just do
Krieg,
you want to do sort of like one-offs of regiments that aren't Cadians, doing kill teams for them is perfect.
Yeah.
So you could have, a Katachan kill team would be awesome.
Yeah.
An Armageddon Steel Legion kill team. Of Australian Firstborn. What they call the Talon Desert Raiders. You can and then there's loads that they've never even done models for.
Yeah. I'd love to do this. Love to see that. And while we're at it, while we're on Kill Team, give us a fucking Grey Knight bespoke Kill Team, please. Like, what is it with the Grey Knight hate, guys? Come on. Grey Knights are the coolest army in 40k.
They are essentially already kill team. Their speciality is kill teams.
Exactly.
They go out as a kill team.
So give us a kill team with like an interceptor, with like a purgator in there, with like a fucking like. I don't want any Terminators. That's fine. Keep Terminators out of kill team as far as I'm concerned.
You can't have it. You'd have one Terminator and you'd still win.
And then like a strike squad. Like interceptor that kind of zips around the board would be fun, and then a purgator with like his big heavy side cannon. And
can you do a Grey Knights like from the compendium rules?
Yeah, so the compendium rules they're fine. Like it's, if anything, they're a little bit OP. So you get 3 actions, and one of which can be a psychic power that buffs you or protects you, basically. And you've already got like a ton of
and you're already a fucking space marine.
Wounds. Yeah, exactly. And you've got storm bolters with bolter discipline as well, which means you're firing twice. And it's a storm bolter, which means you're doing about twice as much damage.
Yeah.
Literally everything. Yeah.
Some changes to them. There was I was going through what some of the modifications are, but there were some changes to try kind of tone it down a bit.
Yeah. But they are crying out for a bespoke kill team. And as you say, Duncan, that's exactly that's how they roll. They turn up with like 5 of them, and then they just fuck shit up.
Because as we find out in Eisenhorn, Malleus, he's been there's rumors that he's being chased by a Grey Knight kill team. He should be bricking it.
Yeah, I would be. Yeah, I love any time the Grey Knights turn up in a story, because they just literally just turn up. And they're like there, and they're like, "You're fucked, but we'll help you." But then afterwards,
we're gonna kill
you. Yeah,
you ain't seen us. Slash.
Yeah, because they turn up and everyone goes, "What the fuck are you?" We're Grey Knights. It's all good. We're gonna save you. And then kill you.
But you're tainted.
Yeah. Oh my god! Did you see that demon over there? Yeah, dead. Did you? Have you? What's the word I'm looking for? Demon. Yaha, you know the name. Dead. Just, yeah. Grey Knight kill team it's crying out for an incredibly characterful, like, anti-demon unit, basically.
Yeah.
And get us some purifiers in there as well.
They've been more open to having rules that are, like, story specific as well. So, like, this faction particularly hates this faction or whatever, so we'll give them a rule that works against them. So even though it's a little bit unbalanced, it's just more flavorful. I quite like that.
I'm going to let Duncan come up with some before I go on my rant about Grey Knights any further.
I would actually like a bespoke Harlequins kill team.
Just spend some time with an army that could actually be one of the coolest armies in the game.
I love Harlequins. The Grey Knights
to paint. Harlequins are probably, if you do them properly, they're probably the hardest thing to paint that they've got.
You actually do need an airbrush.
But you can't if you're doing the Harlequin pattern, you can't airbrush that. You can't decal it.
Shading,
you can't template it.
You do the checkers over the blending. Like it's the shading blending bit. You can do checker.
Or you take my approach, which is to try really hard for 5 minutes, then go fuck it, and then just null and oil. Done.
I have very mixed results of some of my Harlequins, which I might have asked in the chat, going, "Can you remove paint?" Because I've looked at it and gone, "Whoa, that did not go according to plan." But they are. I love my Harlequins.
They are just crying out for. I mean, I'm not being funny. We've got how many different types of Marines? Like on top of the fact that each Marine's going to get its own detachment rules now. And then on top of which you've got Black Templars, you've got Blood Angels, Dark Angels, Space Wolves. That's it, isn't it? It's 4, isn't it?
Yeah, and then because in the new Astartes Codex, they also then talk about the Raven Guard, Salamanders.
Yeah.
The Ultramarines have
Scars, who are
they?
definitely the coolest. We all agree. White Scar. I mean, I love Raven Guard just because they go zip zip zip. But
They're the emo faction. I like them.
yeah, but they're like the good emo faction in the
Yeah.
way that it's like, whereas the Night Lords are
The evil
Soul
emo
Chamber.
faction. Yeah.
Raven Guard are
Fallout Boy.
yeah, Fallout Boy
Yeah.
and the likes.
Um.
My Chemical Romance.
Yeah. There
Yeah.
you go. They
on
are
their, on their
very much
Bluetooth
like
headphones
Romance,
that they all wear because they love their gadgets and they're so
Yeah.
tactical.
But even all they come under like Space Marines. I'm cool with that. That's
Yeah.
different detachments. Tyranids have loads of different detachments. Every army is going to have 6 different detachment rules that are, and with Space Marines they'll just say, "Do you want to go fast? Do you want to sit back?" Okay, here's because if you want to go fast, you can use this with your White Scars army that you've spent far too much time building bikes on, Dan, and or if you want to sit back, do you want to flame things? Do you want to fry things with a big smile on your face? Salamanders. This is what this detachment is going to do. Everything gets assault. Excellent. Do you want to just sit back? Okay. Sustained hits. Brilliant. Okay, you got that. Excellent. And so, like, even like that's cool. So you could even say, "White, I'm going to build White Scars, and I'm going to make them essentially Iron Hands." Okay, whatever, doesn't matter. And then, but what I'm talking about is on top of which you've got Black Templars, Blood Angels, Dark Angels, and Space Wolves, which function as their own armies. On top of which, why the fuck can't we have Harlequins, like a fully functioning Harlequin army, like on its own? They don't. They're not meant to be. They're not super pally with the Eldari.
They're the keepers of the Black Library.
Exactly. They don't just hang out with them. It's just convenience more that you can shove them in the Eldari Codex more than anything. And like,
Side note, how are we pronouncing Eldar these days?
Eldari.
Is that actually how
Space
it's
elves.
pronounced?
Yeah.
Space elves, yeah. That's what they should be called.
Nonce elves is what they are. The fuckers. Murder fuck elves. But
That was the Drukhari.
well, no, it was originally the Eldari, wasn't it? That's
Yeah,
why.
well, that's true.
That's why they created such a big whoopsie as Slanesh. Yeah. So Harlequins don't just hang out with these guys. They're their own thing. They've got their own thing going on. No one wants to hang out with Harlequins because they think it's really funny to kill people. So just give them their own army, like lots of really fast moving things.
Or they're not, but they're all about the play. Life is
Yeah.
a play. Like, have a deadly mime artist, where it's like,
Oh, that'd
my
be fucking
body
awesome.
is my tool.
Yeah.
That would be really cool, actually. Yeah.
Mm.
It just sort of points
don't
at
know.
you, and then like
Yeah.
your head pops off.
Yeah. I mean,
Like, You don't
They've
need too
got-
much. You just need more than one unit. Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
because they're not
Votan's only
a
got
proper
4
faction
units.
on their own,
Yeah.
are they? And
I do want more Votan, but that's I am getting. I've
We'll
seen
get
the
more
miniature for the Warhammer Day. I am pre-ordering that.
What is
Lovely
it?
lady. It's a Einhir champion woman, but it's like with a mega shield. And
yeah.
a cool crest. I'm like, I want that. I've already got. I might have an Einhir champion. I have an eBay problem.
It's okay. You're amongst friends here, Duncan.
The problem is I have got a few that are pre-made models, but I don't mind that because I don't really always have time for gluing. So if it looks nice, I'll sort of do that. I know that's cheap.
I don't have a problem at all.
Dan, you have just nids, man. I mean, yeah, I would like more
Well, no, it's
Votan,
fine.
but going back to Grey Knight and
Yeah.
Inquisition, because I kind of
Right, we're doing this now, because I'm going to go on a rant.
whoa.
Yeah.
I because I'm enjoying Eisenhorn, I would like a proper Eisenhorn squad because he's
Haven't
got
they?
a nice-
Haven't they done that?
They did it ages ago, but you can't get the models anymore.
Hmm.
I don't think that Eisenhorn is now a mini.
Hmm.
But it's not just him. It would be kind of cool to have him with his retinue because I quite like the characters, especially in Xenos.
It seems like an easy win as well.
Yeah.
The conspiracy
Especially
theorist in me says they're waiting till Henry Cavill's playing Eisenhorn.
Yeah. I mean,
That he seems to be like one of the top people they are mentioning as who you could possibly play, because you can't play a Marine because you can't put a helmet on Henry Cavill's face in this.
what was it in the Lords of Terror that they came up with? Was it Lorgar as Paul Rudd as Lorgar? And who was it? It was going to be Gilliman. Oh, I can't remember. It was hilarious though. Um,
Yeah,
anyway,
my money on Henry Cavill is either someone like Eisenhorn or Gilliman,
yeah.
potentially, depending on what they do with it. I kind of hope they just go through some of the novels, the good ones.
Hmm.
We don't need the Demonculi or whatever it's called.
That's not a real thing. That's
It's horrible.
Almost.
Absolutely
They're
horrible.
never going to do anything like that.
No, good. They never need that. I never want to see it. Grey Knights? We're talking Grey Knights?
Well,
Okay.
I mean, I would like Eisenhorn and his resonate, especially like the gunship is pretty cool. The cutter,
Hmm.
gun cutter is and I suppose the relic, the Pontius. I like the idea of that because it's a weird demonic thing,
Hmm.
and I think that would be quite a cool thing to have. Not necessarily as yeah, well, if you have a cultist army or something, it would be cool to have it in that. But anyway, yeah, Grey Knights. What's your rant about, Dan? New
This
models.
is a new. This camera's terrible. This is a new Terminator, right? In the Leviathan box, right? This is a Grey Knight Terminator, who is basically his child. Okay,
It's so small.
it's fucking ridiculous.
Just a little guy.
He's just a little guy, and
What's he gonna do?
He's just,
He's just a little guy.
he's so small.
Hey there,
not
baby
big.
man.
He's just a little baby man. Yeah. So, like, every Grey Knight is tiny now. Like, we've moved into an era where Primaris is taking over. They don't even call them Primaris anymore. They're just Marines now. And as a result, every Space Marine is a good, like, almost third bigger than every Grey Knight. Except for, because they really like just giving us blue balls with this, except for Castellan Crow, or as I called him, Cameron Crow earlier, who they made a new model for, and they made him Primaris size. So I've got Castellan Crow just like strolling around with his bunch of children with him. He looks massive, and they put him on a fucking rock. So like he's like a good like he's like a third higher than anyone else like that he could possibly be in a unit with. You can use him with purifiers. Excellent. It works really well. The rules work really well. He makes the purifiers better. The purifiers make him better. That's a great rule. Of course he works with the purifier. He's the head purifier. That makes total sense. Thank you for giving me Castellan Crow. One of my favorite ever models they've ever made. Looks awesome with his fucking demon sword swinging around. Looks cool. He also just looks like he's a lot closer than the other Marines. So like, can we please hurry up and get some Grey Knights that fit the size of him? And while we're at it, where's my fucking Kaldor Draco? Kaldor Draco's like meant to be this super fucking badass, and they haven't made a model for him in 20 years. So like, Kaldor Draco looks tiny compared to everyone else. This is the man that took on Mortarion and won. And on his way of banishing him back to the warp, branded him with his old Grandmaster's name that Mortarion killed. Like, he fucking didn't just kill Mortarion. He whooped his ass and then just gave him a little spank on the way out as well. Give me Kaldor Drago. Like, a decent Kaldor Drago. I want Kaldor Drago to be on top of a dead, like, Keeper of Secrets or something. I want the base to be a dead Keeper of Secrets, and there's tiny Kaldor Drago on top of it. Going, yeah, I beat that. No big deal, really. Just give me fucking Kaldor Drago.
Kaldor Drago with also a little memento from the Age of Sigmar.
Yes.
Because when he pops up.
Yeah, if it's just like a random Orruk head or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's he's you can fucking hate Kaldor Drago, but like very few Grey Knight armies function very well without him at the moment. So please, can we have a decent model? Like he's the only thing that can take on demons. He's the only thing with an anti-demon weapon. So like,
really,
I thought
in the Grey
Knights are basically anti-demon.
Yeah, you think that, but instead they just move really fast now. They just zip around the board everywhere. None of them have anti-demon weapons anymore. So I'd imagine when the Codex comes out, there'll be a whole detachment, this is the anti-demon detachment, which is fine. And that would be great. But like, you'd have thought they'd kind of lean into it a little bit. I understand it's probably for balance, but also just maybe like one, like a unit that's particularly good at taking on demons would have been nice. That you can choose whether you take it or not. Rant over about Grey Knights. They're my favorite army in the game, I think, at the moment. I love Imperial Guard, but Grey Knights are more fun to play. Like,
they're very cool as well.
To their credit, the current rules make them a lot of fun. They're just not very killy. So like I deploy my Grey Knight army on the board. They're over expensive, even with the points reduction. And I go, right, okay, so it's the end of your turn. I'm now going to pick up these units and I'm going to deploy them anywhere I want on the board with at the end of my command phase. Essentially meaning they miss any battle shock tests. So like if you've got a unit that's taken more than 50% casualties, you can pick them up and just move them and they don't have to take a battle shock test. Plonk them straight on an objective. And it's like, I've tapped an objective. I'm Grey Knights, bitch. And then you go up against Knights and you're like, shit, I can't do anything against them. Anything. Nothing. You can do nothing against Knights because you've got nothing that comes close to being able to take them down. So you just like, I'm going to pick this unit up and move them away. I read a battle report where the guy didn't fire a single shot. He just kept moving them around the board to try and capture objectives away from the Knights, basically. And that's the only way you can do it.
There's not much you can really do against a Knight, is there?
No. But here's the thing, right? They're still more fun than Imperial Guard at the moment. So I'd rather play Grey Knights. Looking forward to some White Scars rules, though. So
yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Models that we'd like to see. What else?
So I've got one from another book I read relatively recently, and I think it would fit really well with my Adeptus Sororitas army that I'm collecting. Something called the Ecclesiarchy War Train. From it's in the Dark Imperium books. So you know, like the Exorcist tank.
Yeah.
Covered in like organs and rocket launchers and cherubs and candles and books and flaming braziers and relics, saintly relics in boxes. Imagine that, but as like a colossal nuclear-powered train that's like half a kilometre long, multiple carriages, all stuffed to the gills with either like massive guns or racks and racks of soldiers, or, you know, massive speakers blaring out hymns and propaganda, all trundling along in a little train. I think that would be absolutely fantastic.
So how do they lay the track? Is it like in Wallace and Gromit?
You'd hope so, wouldn't you? No, I think it's just like got wheels.
Oh, okay.
But so you imagine like the old squat land trains, but full of religious nutters.
Yeah, that would be good.
So apparently they're a thing that the Ecclesiarchy use, but I think you could make an excuse for the sisters taking one.
Saying that, I would quite like the sister that is in either the Lord of Terror, not Lord of.
That's Morven Val.
Yeah, no, is she? Yeah, Morven Val, or is she? Because she replaced the one who had to go. So
Morven Val is the current Abbess Sanctorum, and yeah,
she's gone off on a crusade.
She's in a Paragon warsuit.
She is an awesome model as well.
But her stand-in also sounds really cool because the way they describe the picture, she has a cathedral for a helmet. I would kind of want that. I want to see that. I want a model with a cathedral for a helmet. Like,
no, I mean, you're right.
with cherubs sort of like controlling the like anti-aircraft guns. I'm here for that. I want a stupid model like that. That's just the stand-in. Like, I know Morven's got she's been given a custodian lance, hasn't she?
Yeah,
she's
also
got
a massive
like
Paragon war
a custodian spear. And yeah, she's in like a massive gold mech suit.
And hench as.
Yeah, and it's hilarious that of all the characters, that's about the third best one as well, behind Triumph and St. Catherine. And
I love the Triumph.
I mean, that is nuts because it's not a character; it's just a full funeral procession.
No, but it's brilliant.
I fucking love it. And Celestine. as well, the
Ooh.
Living Saint
Yeah,
as well.
Cersei's great. And there's
It's a
also
great
one
model as
called Junith Eruta, I think.
Is that the one in the
Yeah, she's in a floating stone pulpit that
That's the
sets
one,
fire
yeah.
to people.
yeah. And then you've got the one that's friends with the elf as well, the Harlequin.
Yeah, I can't remember what her name is.
That's a really cool. Sisters of Battle might have the best models. They genuinely might.
I'm
They
going
are
to
really-
say
they are really
maybe Adeptus Mechanicus. I love that. Mechanicus are just crazy. I love
We were just
the
saying we'd like to see more Mechanicus.
'Cause there's not that many
special characters.
Mechanicus models. There's like, because some of the ones
We
they've got,
need-
like those, the Rise of Rust Stalkers and things like that are
Yeah.
flipping awesome.
They do have quite a number of vehicles, but they
Yeah.
did stop that. And Ford, there is one who's been listening to way too much Adeptus Ridiculous and now gone through their Mechanicus vehicles. But they did. There was a crazy ass cool vehicle that Forge World did for a very, very brief time, and I think that should be brought back.
Do you know how long it took me to realise on the Iron Striders there's actually a servitor at the front of it?
Not
I've
until
never
I heard
noticed that
that.
before. Yeah,
I didn't
it's
realise
so
that.
weird. Yeah, I fucking love it. But yeah,
More Adeptus Mechanicus characters because each one is unique. That like just
you
the
could
way
do
the
so many
models.
weird fucking things with. Give one of them fucking wings
Yeah,
and just have them like just dropping bombs. Just that would be really cool.
Hmm.
And I refuse to believe that I know Skitarii are essentially like servitors that are good at war, but I refuse to believe there isn't one that has stood out amongst other ones as
I think
well.
they're not like, they have names,
Yeah,
and I think like they have a bit of free will up to a
Yeah.
point. They're not servitors,
no,
but they they are still not quite people either.
yeah, they're living examples of the Adeptus Mechanicus not giving a shit about people in any way,
well,
shape,
that's
or form.
because they irradiate everything.
Yeah,
They love
Well,
a bit of radiation.
only as long as they're useful, basically, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
another personal one for me. A couple of years ago, they released a bunch of Space Marine Christmas boxes, and one of them was a White Scars one. Now, the White Scars Christmas box had 10 models in total in it, which you don't think that's much. A Christmas box, you're probably wanting like 30, 40 models, especially Space Marines, okay? So, but the models were 6 Outriders, so 6 bikes, 2 ATVs, so you've got 2 units of Outriders with ATVs, a chaplain on a bike, so that's 9 models, all on bikes, really cool, great idea, and then Corsaro Khan, who is the chapter master of the White Scars. However, he is not on a bike of any kind. So you had 9 models all on bikes, and Corsaro Khan just standing there with his fucking eagle. Here's an idea: put the chapter master of the White Scars on a fucking bike or a
Well,
speeder.
And a huge bike at that. It's
Yeah,
got
I
to
want-
be a
I want,
beast.
like-
I want a Harley.
Yeah,
So they don't have jet bikes anymore, do they?
no,
they're
because
a
they lost the
heresy
STC,
thing,
I
aren't they?
think, didn't they? So yeah. I'm assuming they lost the STC. That seems to be why we get like shitter versions than in Heresy. So
I hope so. When they do the proper detachment for White Scars, they bring back jet bikes because they're the only ones who it really makes sense for. And it might just be that they don't work on the tabletop.
yeah,
Because things that move really quickly don't work.
I think it looks like they've leaked what the equivalent of. They don't call them White Scars detachments anymore. They call it like Storm Spear or something like that. But so I've seen what the rules are. From what I understand, it basically means they can advance and charge in the same turn by the looks of things,
Nice.
which is fine. And then or they can fall back and charge. So they can just like break themselves from combat, fall back, and then just charge in themselves, which means they get to fight first, which is quite cool. And then I think there's a stratagem that means that you can put it on a unit for 1 CP, and it's -1 to hit them, which I quite like the idea of. It kind of fits in with the character of the White Scars, so that they're kind of like dodging around all over the place while they're being shot at. If you go to Warhammer Community, they've already announced the one that's meant to be the equivalent for the Salamanders, which basically means that every weapon in the army gets assault, which is fucking bonkers.
But you can use that, or the idea is meant to be flexible, and
Yeah.
you can use that on other units as well, but that is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
it just means you can pop in with your plasma and just go, oh, a heavy plasma or something.
We're the nice Space Marine chapter. Now, excuse me while I flay your skin from your from your flesh. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I want a. I'll tell you what I'd take, because I had to convert one for my White Scars. I'd love just a captain, or as they're called in the White Scars, Khan, on a bike. The fact that we don't have a captain on a bike model is somewhat ridiculous.
You feel like there should be an on a bike option for pretty much everything.
Yeah, we've got lieutenants on fucking everything at the moment. So why
also,
not?
Like, people are going to want to do an all cavalry White Scars army.
My 1,000-point White Scars is all on bikes and one storm speeder. My 2,000 point, that's when I start getting a bit creative with. Well, we're getting assault marines with jetpacks as well. I'm going to need some of those. One of those bad boys for my White Scars. So I'm quite excited about that. But yeah, give us that. And just quick dip back to Horus Heresy. Everyone assumed the model that was going to be released. They said they were redoing a Primarch. Everyone assumed it was going to be Jagatai Khan, because he's not on a bike again. But no, they went with sexy Fulgrim Snake person instead. So can we get Jagatai Khan in Horus Heresy on a fucking bike as well? Because apparently, from what I understand, there's rules for you to be able to include him on a bike, but he's such a big model, you can't just plonk him on a bike because he's a Primarch. If you put him on a bike, it looks like one of those clowns on like a tiny little bike. So you need to then like massively convert. I've seen people talk about like how you've got to convert like a land speeder for him to be able to fit on it, and at that point, you've already gone too far.
Yeah.
Like, just give us a fucking model with the guy who's famously on bikes, on a bike. Yeah.
He rides to ruin.
He does, yeah. Fucking the laughing killer. I love him so much. It's just fucking awesome. And he just went all, as you say, we said earlier, he went all Meatloaf and just fucking rode into hell, essentially.
Well, yeah, he saw it, flipped finger, went, I'm coming after you, and zoomed off into the webway, didn't he? So
yeah, well, he's in the webway at the moment, isn't he? So he could come back a bit demony if they want to. So he could come back on like a skeleton jet bike.
Oh my god.
With flames coming out the eyeballs.
Dan would just...
But they could do like go full Ghost Rider with him, I suppose.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, or just like literally recreate the Meatloaf album cover with him.
Also, yeah, go on.
So this is probably because I've been listening to Adeptus Ridiculous too much. And folks, if you enjoy us wittering on about Warhammer, I can highly recommend that. It is one of the funniest, best podcasts about it.
Yeah,
I think around, and they really go into the lore brilliantly. So, I very much enjoyed their Revenge of the Red Gobbo, and I would want a Red Gobbo. Like, I think not necessarily as a kill team, but you know, I can even see what the rules could be. That you could have this Gretchen as the Red Gobbo, and you have a little unit of Gretchens with him, and either you can give him an invulnerable save, because the whole story is about how the Red Gobbo is very lucky, and so that's essentially an invulnerable save, or you have it that even if it's a precision shot, because he's character, that you can allocate the shot to unit. That might already be in the rules for generally, but I know for if it's a precision weapon, you can allocate the shot has to be, you can allocate it directly onto the character rather than it being allocated. But the Red Gobbo rule could do that. Anyway, I love the idea of the Red Gobbo, which is the Gretchen's revolutionary leader, because the Gretchens want to rise up against the horrible Aurochs.
No,
and, you know, a nice little red army kind of cap and star and stuff. It would be very funny.
To put that in 40k, I think Gretchen are fucking massively underused. Like, you've got like now in Age of Sigmar, you've got a separate Orc army and a separate Goblin army. They are two separate armies. It would be really cool to just have a few more like Gretchen units.
Yeah, the Gretchen aren't
in
really
40k.
in 40k. They're like operating the turrets in tanks and things like that.
Yeah.
But
There is one specialist Gretchen unit,
yeah.
which is just called the Gretchen, but it is led by an orc, because generally they are. But yeah, I think a Gretchen, because Gretchen's often there to support the mecha boys, the mech boys. So
but you could have them heavily, like you could have them as their equivalent of like AdMech.
Yeah.
Like the troops themselves are squishy as fuck, but they've got tons of like they're kind of the brains behind it all, really, and they're the ones that are putting together like all these like robots and stuff like that. That'd be really cool. But and obviously you've got Makari as well, who he's one of the best characters that literally just stands by a bigger character. He's the only, from what I remember, he's the only character in 40k that has a 2+ invulnerable save, which is and crazy, because I love the idea that he's just really lucky.
Yeah.
And that's why Gazkul Thraka has him standing next to him, basically.
Yeah.
With loads of rumors that he's doing, Makari's actually the one kind of in charge.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think a few more cool Gretchen models like that. I mean, I love the idea of the red gobbo. I think it's hilarious.
It's brilliant. You could definitely do some fun stuff.
I mean, obviously, I would like a few more Votann models because they're meant to be miners.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't like the Hecatan Land Fortress.
Oh, really?
I'm not a massive fan of it.
Oh, I love it. I think it's great.
I'm split between whether I like the model or not. So I don't know, because I love the Pioneers, the Henrin Pioneers, because they're Grav, and I quite like the Sagitaur. But I don't know. There's something about the Hecatan that maybe. Anyway, a few more of those because they're meant to be. I don't know, like an actual mining, like something that erupts out of the ground. But instead of being a big drill, they use plasma. Like if you can get if Adeptus Mechanicus can use a plasma drill, then there would be a cool Cora that comes out, and you can use it as a. I think that would be pretty cool to do.
We on the same thing. Is there a unit that's just like bare-chested dwarves with pickaxes?
Yeah.
Well, with plasma axes, the Chthonian Berserkers.
Okay, then that's fine. Cool. That's all I fucking want from this. Like, I want like bare-chested dwarves that have just like strode into battle.
Yeah, I mean, essentially there is that. It would be cool to have another unit like that as well, with like, because they flail around with big axes, but you know, someone with a big more mining equipment. Good. And because they've got the Ironkin, I don't think you have a Brocchier Master with the Ironkin. But it'd be nice because the Ironkin are meant to be. You can sort of include them in a unit and make something that look like it's an Ironkin within a Earthkin Warrior unit. But it'd be cool to really explore the Ironkin. So you would essentially have an Ironkin equivalent as a Dreadnought or something, or a War Walker, cool. But it's actually a sentient robot rather than a ribbit. Than.
While we're on that, redesign the Dreadnought. Sorry.
Yeah.
I quite like it, but I know a lot of people don't. So.
Yeah.
Like fewer walkers with just an open dude at the front. Like I know they're pretty stupid in 40k, but
they are silly. Yeah. The baby carriers.
Yeah.
Like does the excuse me about this, but does the Grey Knight have an iron shield or anything?
Yeah, that's how they get around it. Basically, someone designs a stupid model and they go, "Oh, he's got a shield. It'll do." Like the War Walkers, the Eldar War Walkers, the same. They've got a force field. Okay. Then
fine.
Yeah, then why bother with any protection at all? Like if that's how you're getting around this, then why bother? And also, aren't void shields like notoriously massive? Like void shield generators notoriously massive. That's why they're only on Titans and ships.
Yeah, but void shields are different from iron shields. Void shields deflect. Iron shields actually only slow down. Oh no, void shields protect. Iron shields deflect and only absorb. That's why knights, Imperial Knights, which are kind of misleading. They're not really. I like the background of Imperial Knights. Kind of want to get them. Then you look at them and go, I like them, but an army of them would be a bit boring.
I don't think it would.
Well, an army of them is 2 knights.
I've looked into
Yeah.
it. And you wouldn't go Imperial Knights. Surely you'd go Chaos Knights, which is way more interesting anyway.
Yeah, well, of course, chaos.
They are cool. And it is. I've seen it at the cafe when you see like a whole army of them.
Yeah,
It looks
they do
fucking
look
awesome.
amazing. I think they're really good. They're a really good project to build and paint as well.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Anything else we want to see? Like, I didn't want to go too heavy on Space Marines because let's be honest, they've got enough.
One thing I would like to see, and I think they could do it these days, is a one of the, whichever one it is, a blue or a pink horror.
Yeah.
But you can crack it open, and inside it are 2 little of the other one that you can
That
then
would be
take
cool.
out.
It's a pink to blue.
Yeah.
So one big blue horror model that you can like pull in half like a little Kinder egg, and then there's 2 blue ones inside.
Yeah, that would
Completely
be awesome.
pointless, but I think that would be quite
That'd
good
be
fun.
very cool.
Hmm.
I've just thought someone else that needs more.
Oh, and every squig that they've named in the lore should have a model.
Yeah.
We could do with more squigs in general.
Well, I think they should use them like, so you know the cherubs that I've got
Hmm.
in the sisters.
Yeah.
They don't do anything.
No.
But you use them as tokens.
Yeah.
And like, so you have like, if you have a cherub with your squad, you can just use it as a marker for like, I think you get to like recover a miracle dice after you
Yeah,
perform
something like that,
activate,
yeah.
something like that. You don't actually need the model at all. You could just use a token. But you should use squigs for tokens for orc armies.
That would be cool.
Oh, question.
Mhm.
Is there a model of, what's his name? John Grammaticus?
There is. I don't think there is.
No.
I
But
kind of feel
he is literally just a guy.
Yeah, he could,
I know,
and he could
but-
look like a number of different people.
Yeah.
You could do like a whole set of John Grammaticus.
I
But
think
he
he
does-
specifically
but he's-
looks like nondescript and boring.
But I don't know what you would have him as, but it would be nice. I would like a model of that because he appears in everything.
Mm.
And is there a model of what's his name? Cool.
Belisarius,
Actually,
yeah, there is.
Oh, that's right.
Have you not seen the Belisarius Core model?
It's very
I
cool.
haven't looked.
It's fucking awesome. It is. It's up there as one of my favorites. Would never want to own it because I don't want to paint that shit. But like, it is because there's just fucking bits
Yeah, he's
coming
got,
off
like,
him
100
everywhere.
arms. It's quite crazy.
Yeah. Can we redo Lucius the Eternal model? And while we're at it, whilst you're redoing Lucius the Eternal model, you might as well just give us Emperor's Children, please. Just give us an Emperor's Children separate army. I will buy everything they release. If you release an Emperor's Children model, I will definitely buy the Fulgrim. Then whatever sexy Fulgrim model comes out with that as well.
It
I
says,
want
they've said you're
Emperor's
not allowed to use
Sexy
the
Fulgrim.
new Fulgrim model in 40k, although what's to stop people making up their own rules for it?
Yeah, and it's such a fucking. So it makes me generally, let's be honest, the 40k versions have looked better than the Horus Heresy versions of these models, right?
Yeah, like the new
Yeah.
Mortarion is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, the new Angron's awesome. The new Magnus the Red's awesome. The Lion's fantastic. Gilliman's great. So why not?
And they're plastic as well, not
Yeah.
resin, which is a big
Which
difference.
makes me think that the Fulgrim 40k model is going to be sexy as fuck. It's a matter of time, isn't it? Really. And then please do.
Yeah.
I want to see Perturabo after that. Like demon Primarch Perturabo. Just
'Cause
guns
he's
coming
a
out of his
demon
junk.
He's a demon of sort of nothing specific, isn't he? He's just
He's a
bit
demon
demonic.
because he got angry and just fled to the warp and
Yeah.
just hung out in the warp sulking for too long and eventually just became a demon.
He's not
a
aligned
demon,
to any particular power.
No.
Chaos undecided.
He hates that he's a demon as well. That's what I love about him. He didn't want to side with Chaos. So like he rocks up at the Battle for Terra, and he's seeing like the Emperor's children snorting the people they've turned to dust. He's seeing demons everywhere. He's seeing Khorne berserkers just going crazy, and he's looking at it and going, "We're fucked. This is not going to work. I'm going to go. I hate those guys. Those guys are snorting humans. and those guys are just fucking killing everything that moves, we're fucked. This is not going to work. I'm out of here, guys. Goodbye. I'm going to go try and remove Rogel Dawn from his hand. So yeah. One of my favourite things is that Perturabo does get one over on Rogel Dawn. I kind of hate Rogel Dawn, so
he's not a laugh, is he, Rogel Dawn?
No, he's not. Apparently, if you read enough of the books, he becomes much more likable. But I can't be bothered to do that because you know what? I'll let you into a secret. Kind of like hating him. So, like, I'm fine with it. I kind of like that he's this boring stick in the mud dick.
He's Imperial Fists.
He is, and it also makes me respect Gilliman a bit more.
Is it War of the Accountants, isn't it?
Yeah. So the one thing I've read Rogel Dawn in is Flight of the Eisenstein, which he comes across as a fucking huge prick. So I'm quite happy with that.
It's quite the way that they finally get there and they're like, oh, thank fuck, we're okay now. And then he's just like, you fucking what? Kill you. I'm going to strangle you for saying that.
Yeah. How dare you talk about Horus that way? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah, I didn't really think about this. It does sound quite ridiculous when we think about it, doesn't it?
Yeah. But he comes across as a massive fucking bellend in that as well. Yeah. Even though he seems to be the prime reason that they managed to eventually get Chaos off of Earth. But
well, yeah.
But fuck him.
Nice.
More Alpha Legion stuff, just in general, just because it's fun.
Yeah, but you can kind of say anything's Alpha Legion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it would be
Alpha Legion
nice.
Operative.
Or is it? Yeah, a bit more
Alpha Legion Operative.
I don't like. I find the Alpha Legion a bit tiresome because they're all just like, oh, exactly as we planned, no matter what happens.
I think the same about Dark Angels.
Yeah,
it's like
I've never liked them.
The thing is, I did, and I do, kind of, but at the same time, because I was going right. I'm going to finish the armies I did start. So I did get some Ravenwing because they go with Dark Angels, and I just really like bikes as well. But then, I won't lie, it's the Siege of Brax. They're just fucking massive dickheads.
They do. And they're just there to grab people and torture them. That's all they do, is grab people and torture them. Do you know about the Fallen? Tell me about the Fallen. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, do you know anything about... They go there to... And they just fuck up. They just cock up, and... They don't even capture any Alpha Legion because they think there might be Fallen amongst the Alpha Legion.
Yeah. And then when it gets difficult, they go, oh, we've had enough. We're out of here.
Yeah, it's just like, lads, you could just stick around. Some of you are quite useful.
Yeah.
So, though Azrael meeting the Grey Knight is quite funny as well. That concept. But yeah, well, I mean, we don't really... I like Dark Angels, but we don't need any more miniatures there.
No, they're fine. Their army's a bit annoying, actually, because their army is... Okay, so you want basic Marines? We got them. You want fast attack? Yeah, we got them as well. You want elite super soldiers? Yeah, we got them as well. And it's like... They're a bit more Ultramarine than the Ultramarines.
Yeah.
And plus, they've got the fucking lion, who's ridiculous, so...
They're the gooseberries, and the Ultramarines are the big blueberries.
Yeah. Space Wolves can fuck off as well. Fucking furries.
Well, yeah, that's some good ideas for James Workshop to get on.
Yeah. Go on, James, get on it, buddy.
We'll just just spin up all of those and.
Affordable scenery, you fucks. How about that?
I don't think there's no such thing as affordable Games Workshop scenery.
No.
Stick to some books with a blanket over them.
Yeah. I think you're probably right.
Assassinorum. We've got, as far as I know, we haven't got that. I mean, we've got the assassins.
Yeah.
But learning that there are like Grandmaster assassins,
it'd
be quite nice to see a few more I know it's agents, but the thing is, when you look at the Unitorium and you look at the list, obviously Eldar have lots, Space Marines have more than anything. Imperial Guard have a lot, but agents of the Imperium could just get stacked up a bit more. And like
they're not designed to be their own army. Like even the special rules are you can join other armies.
Yes, I know. Good Dark Angels can have like Vindicare assassins. It's great. I've got a Vindicator Assassin, so I'm happy to shove that in. But
they've never been designed to be their own army. That's the problem.
Yeah,
I'd love to see it
they're
happen.
they're just add-ons, aren't they? I don't think you even could take them as their own thing.
But the concept of having like what in one book was it I can't War of the Beast or something, like the Grand Master going out and beheading all the Lords of Terror. It'd be cool just to have another, like, not just the field operatives, but maybe a Grand Master assassin. I know you're not meant to ever see them, but something that would work well if it's a.
I'd like to see Codex Inquisitor or something along those lines, where the Inquisitor gets to choose his retinue, and it's not just Marines. Like, you've got limited Marine choices, you've got like limited like Imperial Guard choices, but where you lack that, you can make up for with exaction squads and fucking rogue traders and assassins and shit like that. That would be fun.
Yeah, like, I mean, they did try and do that with Demon Hunters. The Demon Hunters Codex, because it was you could have
it was a different age though, wasn't it? Like, that was when you were allowed like fucking armies with Eldar and Tau combined, so you know.
Yeah, well, those all in Demon Hunters. That's the one that I have with the Grey Knights. So that's why I fielded an Inquisitor leading a small Grey Knight force with some. Well, actually, it was shock troopers, Cajun shock troopers, but they were meant to be RBTs. I don't know. Yeah, they were meant to be a little guard force. So
you could definitely do something with Agents of the Imperium, like an actual army. Like. Maybe their special rules are they can use like Space Marines with the battle line keyword as part of their force, or they can use anything with the Imperium and battle line keyword or something as part of their force, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean they do in the in Xenos.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but the idea is the Inquisitor has access to absolutely everything he needs to complete his job. So. Yeah. That'd be fun. I'm thinking tanks. I always go back to tanks. I think we're kind of okay for tanks, though, as much as I hate to say it. But
there are quite a few tanks. I don't know how much of a fan I am of some of the new Space Marine vehicles.
You don't like the
I don't really like the floaty tanks.
I kind of do. So I'm going to go on a rant. Give them to Grey Knights as well. Why the fuck would they not have that shit? There we go. Rant over. They'd have the floaty tanks, wouldn't they? They're all about like floating and zipping around everywhere. I'd give them access
to everything, really, shouldn't they?
Either give them access to everything or nothing. Say they don't have fucking vehicles. I'm actually fine with that as well.
Yeah.
Why would they have vehicles when they can teleport everywhere?
True.
Yeah, I don't know. Fucking just stop screwing over Grey Knights, guys. Come on. I'm trying to think of the factions that have been screwed over. Grey Knights, come on. It is for starters. Sort it out. They're the only ones I care about, actually. So, yeah, just Grey Knights. Don't care about anything else.
I went through the Necrons and I was like, oh, it'd be cool. But they've got most of the funny characters there anyway. So.
They've done last 9th edition, they did a really good job of updating the Necrons and then also adding a load to them as well.
Yeah, I think it's a very beautiful array. The lore is hilarious. So
yeah, they've done such. That should be their crowning glory is the Necrons, because they turned them from like a fairly dumb army into an actually funny and very usable army as well.
And what their book is the Infinite and the Divine, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the Catan Shard models are all really nice.
Yeah.
I'm just looking. I just look at the Necrons. Go. I'm never going to get those because I could never paint them.
I think Necrons are fairly simple to play, aren't they?
Some of the one, no,
they can
like
be as simple as you want. You could just get away with dry brushing them.
Yeah. Though some of it looks more complicated. Anyway, even on the GW website, it said this is probably a challenging paint. Like, okay, well, if you're saying it's a bit difficult, then it's probably. Yeah, so Necrons, I don't think even Tau are screwed over. Obviously, the Eldari need to be refreshed. We probably need a new Kane.
Problem they've got with Eldari is they do need to be refreshed, but they can't make them better.
They're already a bit beardy, like in the new rules, the recent new rules.
Yeah. No arguments here.
They've had to tone it down already because of all the number of. Watching a battle report where it was Eldari, it was Harlequins, because obviously Harlequins feature in that, against Votann, and the Votann just got whopped because it was like, we've got our fate dice, but we can also re-roll everything. And,
it's fucking bonkers. Plus, luckily they've changed the rules to devastating wounds, which was ridiculous. Hey, so I basically on 2+, I cause a critical hit. So if you cause a critical hit, devastating wounds means you do maximum damage and you ignore all armor saves. So you had. So it transfers all damage to mortal wounds, I think. So you had anyone that did like 4 damage became mortal wounds. So you could take out 4 individual models with 1 wound rather than only 1 model at that point. Absolutely bonkers. Eldar, crazy. Do you know he's not crazy? The fucking Grey Knights. Give us something. Just something. Give us a more powerful weapon. Raise the Psy Cannon strength up. No, I tell a lie. I know what I want. I want fucking demon hammers back. Like now they're all like lumped in like generic force weapons. So like the falchions, the swords, and the hammers are all the same thing. Fucking give us proper hammers. Space Marines are allowed storm hammers. Why am I not allowed fucking thunder hammers? Sorry. Why am I not allowed like demon hammers? Fucking bullshit's what it is.
It's a pretty good name for a weapon as well.
Yeah. Nemesis. No, it's a Nemesis Force Hammer. Sorry, not a Demon Hammer. It used to be called Demon Hammers, I think. But
yeah,
bonkers.
I agree.
Look, how cool this motherfucker looks. He's tiny, admittedly, but like, he's got a big old hammer. That does the same as like one of the little swords. Apparently, that's fucking bollocks. Sort it out, James. Fucking hell.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah. I'm out of here.
Right, we better bring this pony to a close.
Yep.
I want Gothic back, and I want it better.
It's back, isn't it?
Is it?
No, maybe.
It needs to be done better. I want cool shit. I want cool Votann ships, because Votann ships should be wicked. I am in for Space Dwarfs at the moment.
Yeah. I don't know. Just make some cool shit. Make it cool. Make it fun. Make it balanced.
Oh, no.
Make me win. I don't know.
Yep.
Usual shit.
The other thing is, why not? No, don't know whether there's a scenery thing or not. I don't know how you work it in, but just like some. It could be an interesting objective, or could be just some other alien races, but just like as that could be there as collateral.
Just shove in some alien races, guys. Come on. Sort
other aliens than we're dealing with other Xenos.
I remembered the other thing I wanted, and it is Sisters Battle related. I want drop pods shaped like cathedrals for Sisters of Battle. So I want them to have I want them to have the same rules as drop pods, Space Marine drop pods, but they are, as you say, just chapels. Yeah. So there we go. Boom. Love it. I'm done, by the way. Sorry, I'll shut up now.
Awesome. Right, let's get the hell out of here.
Later, taters.
I don't know how to finish one of these. We need Tom to pop in just to do the end, don't we?
You can find us on all the socials
Press the button. There we go.
at TMTOH on Instagram, X, which probably won't exist anymore.
I refuse to update the little Twitter icon on the thing that pops up to that fucking X.
Mine automatically updated.
Yeah,
even
mine's done it, and I mean
on the thing when you start talking about the socials, I press a button and it brings it up on the screen, but you can't see it.
Oh, no, keep the bird.
I'm keeping the bird.
Twitter,
Bon Jovi always
Instagram.
wanted.
We're on TikTok, but probably don't do any TikTok.
We are. I put one up about the ball. That's the only thing that's gone up. Really, ever.
Ball.
Yeah.
Football. It was a great movie, that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was all the socials. Dan, is there anything marveling Marvel?
You know what? There actually might be. We're looking at doing our midway through the year in September review of movies. Also, we're midway through the year and no one's making any films at the moment, so it might just be the majority of the year. Because looking at what's coming out in the future, I think Cineworld's going to be full of a lot of old films. So it might be our end of year review. Who knows? But yeah, so we're going to sit down. So we've been to see a ton of films this year, and we're going to talk about all of them. This is what we want to do. So
Nice.
Excellent. And if for everything American football related, because why not? Go to the Gridiron Gents as well.
Oh, yeah.
Give it a listen. Don't forget, join us on the Discord. All the links and details are on our pinned pages or bio in Instagram, pinned on Twitter, yada yada. Who knows? Russ, you might as well say it.
No, I've got to press the button. Somebody else has to say it.
All right. Take us out. Cue the music.